Jill here with my newest video. I really hate to admit I've been in a bit of a creative slump. I've been too busy with life. Other things have been going on. I've been dealing with some anxiety and working on some mindfulness and some radical acceptance. And here we are. So I don't know what I want to do today. I was having a hard time finding inspiration. So I got out a wood canvas board that I buy very inexpensively at Walmart, and I want to work in black and white. That's all I know. So I got out some craft paints, pardon me, in wrought iron, medium gray, white, and black, although I really don't think I'm going to use the straight black for a while. I'm going to work a background. I don't know what I'm going to put on top. I am going to use a card and a brush, and then I got out almost every piece of black and white napkin, tissue, ephemera, to start a little something. So here we go. All right. I like the medium gray. Let's start with that. Oh, you know what I should do? Here. If you notice in a lot of my videos, I struggle using stupid little things for palettes. So I got out my palette paper and that I bought on clearance sale, and let's just put some out on here. And maybe I won't have all of my palette problems. So there's the medium gray. Here's the wrought iron, which is almost like a Payne's gray, I think. And lots of white. And let's just get started. I like the look of scraping with a card. I decided not to gesso the board. I don't think it really matters. I kind of like the way that's soaking into the wood there. Look at that, that's nice. I probably will use the paintbrush on the edges, on the sides. Look, I ran out of medium gray fast. Whatever holes are left, I can hit with a brush. And as usual, if this is too long and tedious, I will just speed up some of these parts. There's something about working on wood that I like. The sound, the feel, the fact that it doesn't have any give. You can really scrape and really press. All right, I think I'm going to edit out the boring parts where I paint the sides. So I will be right back. Okay, here we are. I painted the sides. I tried to make them a little darker. I used some of the wrought iron. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. And I hit it real quickly with a heat gun. It's mostly dry. It really doesn't need to be completely dry. I got out a little cup of fluid matte medium, Liquitex, in an old medicine cup. And I'm just going to start collaging on bits. I imagine I will also fast forward through this part. okay. This is dry to the touch. It's not completely dry. I have to be careful at this point if I'm drawing or mark making to not scratch down into those kind of damp layers. Unfortunately, or fortunately, who knows, the deli paper really wrinkled. I don't know if you can see all the texture, but that'll probably end up a lot of texture right where I want the face. I think I'm going to do a girl today. No big surprise. I got out a bunch of black and white. I got my ink and my fine liner, my acrylic ink. I got out some fluid white. I got out a cup and a spray bottle to make some ink washes. So let's see. Charcoal pencil. Now, I want the face to pretty much fill up the page. It's going to kind of come around like this. Page, the board. It's kind of going to be a 3/4. And if it's 3/4, her part will be kind of over here. I don't know if I want an ear or not. Let's have her neck. Some hair. And I think I want the hair to pretty much disappear. Let's make an ink wash. Squirt some water in there. Some black ink. Okay. And I probably put in too much black ink. I'll never use all of that. Maybe I'll put it on something else to use it up. Alright, so my nice big brush to keep it loose and messy. Let's see what our wash. Ooh, it's going to be dark. I thought it would be a lighter wash. Oh, no, that's not too bad. Let's try and keep my arm out of the way a little bit. Just bring in the shape of her face. And a few shadows. Let's see. So her chin will come up like this. And where I can't decide if I should keep using this big brush or if I should move to a smaller one for where the eyes are going to be. Well, let's see. We'll have one eye here, one eye here. My ink wash is getting too thin now. It's not showing up. Just a suggestion. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing. Let's see. Her hair will come out this way. darken up a few values there. Another really dark place will probably be right here. All right. I'm going to let that dry and come back. All right, this layer is dry. I like the way she's looking right there. She's rather ephemeral. I think that's the way you pronounce that word. I really am happy with the way some of those layers are showing through and the texture. So I got out for working her face, I don't know where to go with this, so I got out my pastel pencils and I put out a little bit more fluid matte medium, and I thought, well, maybe I'll work with some pastel, and I don't know. I pulled out white, black, beige, which really is it's a warm gray, and dark gray. So they're the four colors. I also grabbed a little pink in case I want to pink up her cheeks and lips just a touch. And let's get started. All right. So let's start with the very darkest. Let's put in some nice big eyes. This one over here is so dark it's hard to see anything. Let's see. And I guess her nose will come down maybe. Her head seems to be tipped down a little bit, so maybe her eyes shouldn't have been so even. And her mouth. So let's see. Let's see what happens now. I'm going to take a pointed brush, just and a little fluid medium. Let's start blending that in. That'll also make it permanent, right? Since this is not going to go under glass, I worry about that a little bit. I just want to get in the basics of her face so that I've got a good starting point and I don't have to worry about that too much. I'm kind of just pushing it around and turning that pastel into a paint-like substance. I probably should have my board tipped up like this. but then I do get some glare. I'm going to move to a part of her face now, let that dry a little bit. And let me move to another part of her face with my next darker tone. So let's see, she would have some shading in here. That doesn't show up a whole lot, does it? That doesn't really show up at all. Let's try the beige. Nope. Well, the lightest part of her face is here. So let's start with some highlights then. All right, I can see I'm really going to need to do something about her nose. Let's see. Right now I'm okay with her eyes and her mouth. I just really don't know what I'm doing with her nose. Okay. Well, let's try a little matte medium on this white. I think I made it a little too far over there. I'm going to take some of that away. Rinse out my brush. Feels like it got dirty. I'm going to put some matte medium on that white on her chin. Maybe it's time to just start pulling in some white paint, huh? And I really have to regroup on her nose. So, what am I going to do? Let me take some of this paint that's still out, the wrought iron from earlier. It's just my craft acrylic. Let's see if I can redo this side of her face. So let's think. Where should her nose go? I mean, I want this to be loose, but I also want it to make sense. So, I'm going to take some white. Not that much white. And let's kind of recreate the ball of her nose. The ball of her nose should be right here. Now, is that making sense? Maybe what's bothering me is this here. Go back to the dark. Now I've kind of introduced a whole new cool gray into her face there that I'm not really pleased with. I think I should let her dry and take a break. What do you think? Okay, I admit it. I cheated a little bit. I did a little bit off camera. I was feeling really stressed because I was struggling and I couldn't make it work, and I know everybody's watching, and I understand that's a good lesson. It's good to see other people struggle and try and correct and bring it back, or not know where they're going. But sometimes I feel stifled creatively when I know somebody else is watching that. So I have to just shut the camera off and fiddle around and not worry about whether I'm in the screen or if I'm saying or if I'm sighing a lot. So I think I have brought her back a little bit to where she needs to be. You'll see the smudges on my finger. What I've been doing is bringing back the dark areas and smudging it out with my finger rather than using the gel medium. And I think I'm going to do a little bit more of that here. This is kind of weird, the way the flower goes. Weird is sometimes good, but this weird is bothering me, the way the flower is coming out from around her lips. And this part of her face over here should definitely be shadowed more. So I'm going to try and rub some charcoal back there. Okay. And I'm just going to let some of this nose and eye over here just kind of disappear. I guess I'm going to have to seal this really well with a spray. So that now I'm going to use that finger for black, and I'll make sure I use a different finger for bringing in white. Here's some white pastel. See if I can bring out her chin. Her nose. And I could also use a stump for some of that blending, but I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying the looseness. Let's, now, I don't know. That might be almost enough for me. I want to make sure her eyes are really prominent. Alright, I don't like this somehow white mark that's coming down here. Let's see if I can. So, this is where we're at. So, I want to sit back and look and say, is this enough of a finished piece? I like how kind of subtle the face is. You don't know where her head ends, where her hair ends. I'm tempted, although I'm really afraid, to try some of this straight black ink. I don't know. No. No, Jill, no. Let's try to add a little bit of texture into her hair with the white pastel pencil. Let's see. And let's go back and forth. Let's make this hair my layers are finally dry enough for me to do this kind of heavy scratching at it without digging down into the layers that were done with the matte medium. Oops, and I lied. I just dragged some up there. Ooh. See how we're just giving her some hints of texture in her hair? Let me go back to some white. White might be too harsh. Maybe it should be like this beige. Can you see that in camera? I think I like that. The question is, does it need some over here now? Long, quiet spells while I sit and ponder. I'm sorry about that. You just kind of have to sit and look and see what kind of feeling you're getting from it. She might be done. I might be calling this finished. Let me know what you think. Would you do more? She okay like this? I was thinking about putting a little bit of pink in her lips. I don't know. Look, it will rub right back off. It's pastel. I want it to be very subtle. Look, I have to use my fourth finger. I got 4 shades of pastel on my fingers. And then a little touch of subtle pink. That doesn't even really show in her cheeks. Here's a close-up. See what's going on in her face. I don't know if I should push back some of the background. Leave it like that. Let me know what you think. Would you do more, or would you leave her like that? Thanks for putting up with my odd mood today and my struggles, and I hope you are having a beautiful day. I hope you enjoy my video. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one.